Son las 9:30.
We are live.
Okay.
Hello. Yay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Thank
evening.
Yes.
Freaking rocks. That's so awesome, Joe.
Let me tell you what today's show is about.
Okay, I'm ready. Tell me.
Oh, Sandy wouldn't have got that one because
I know. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Lagging.
She was excited. She's like, tell me now what it's about. So, guys, this is one of the coolest episodes we actually get to do. There's so many reasons for this episode to be exciting tonight. And we'll get to that in a minute. So stick around. But first, guys, how are y'all doing? How was y'all's day today?
Listen, we're great. Okay. I had a recipe sent to me last night. And so I tried it today for dinner. And I was super excited about how it turned out. And then I Googled a recipe. And it was really good. So my first recipe was White Claw slushies. So good.
What? Oh my gosh.
White Claw slushies. So good. Anyway, my second recipe was meatballs. I've never made meatballs before. Have y'all made meatballs?
Yes.
Like from scratch?
Yes. I use chicken
Am I the
and
only one?
pork.
Okay, so I had some ground turkey that I have had for a while, probably past the expiration, I'm sure. So if we're all sick tomorrow, you know why. But anyway.
That's not good.
Yeah, I know. So, because, we make everything paleo or whatever. So I Googled a recipe. I didn't follow any of the instructions. I just was like, okay, I don't have that. So I'm just going to put some stuff together. And they turned out really good. I'm super impressed. And
good.
We have no leftovers. So that's always a good thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
That is a good thing.
In Joe's house, that's really good because his family, they don't eat any leftovers from what I understand.
Well, so today though.
Oh, stop it.
Forced them because we had 2 or 3 days of leftovers, and I told them I'm not going to the store today. You better eat the leftovers because Chris made lasagna last night.
Oh, that's
right. I finished off the lasagna, and I had the zuppa toscano soup left over, and that's what Kiki had. And then so the only thing that's left is some pork chops, but it may not.
And applesauce.
It may not be eaten. Oh, look at this! Check this out.
What?
Did you see this? What up, party people in the place to be?
Oh, my
kid.
Okay, he asked me to shout out. This is my son, Cade Abby, and he's so excited to be watching. He's so excited for this episode.
I love his Darkwing Duck. Put that back on there, Joe. Look at that. It's freaking Darkwing Duck is his avatar.
Yeah, look at that. And
how does he even know about that?
Shouts out.
It's old school.
To my mom.
Oh, I love my kid.
In case you didn't notice, but this is from the YouTube channel. So
yes,
you can watch now live from the YouTube channel in case you don't allow your kids to have Facebook or whatever. So,
and that's the situation right now. He's not allowed on Facebook.
For good reason, I'm sure. And the cool thing about YouTube is a lot of times you can just play that and move off of the screen and do other multi whatever. And so I know on Facebook, when you try to do that stuff, it kind of shuts down the audio to it. So that's a huge benefit. So hopefully you guys will really enjoy that and go subscribe over there and do all that stuff that other people say that I'm not going to say because I don't believe in that. Saying it in every episode. I'm like, I know what to do. I've been around for like more than 15 years. Come on.
Yeah, Cade mocks that, but I think he does it in his. Don't get mad at me, Cade. I think you do. I'm not sure.
Cade needs to be on the show.
Carrie, he's dying to be on the show, and I'm like, okay, just be on YouTube.
You know who needs to be on the show? A little birdie named Carrie needs to be on the show. I'm just saying.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Oh,
maybe we need to work something out there, Carrie. Wink.
Tomorrow.
Awesome. So okay. So all the leftovers, Joe. That's what she said, right?
Yeah, I did. All the leftovers. They're good.
Yeah, they're gone.
Let's
see.
James, you?
So I have been struggling these last couple of days, and I cannot get it right. And you know who I appreciated talking about it the other night was John. John, our good dear friend John Matthews, went live the other night. And you see, John, I'm mentioning you by name, so I hope you're watching tonight because I know how you get a little booty hurt whenever you don't get any props, and I'm totally laying it on thick right now. Okay.
Yeah, it does get booty hurt.
All right. So listen, John Matthews the other day or two ago went on Facebook Live and was like, he was really challenged, struggling, whatever whatever adjective you want to put in there, with the whole kids being at home and what to do. And so these last couple of days, I've really felt that, and I was like, I need my kids. I need to help my kids. I need to help them because I am coming home, and this house was beautiful, spotless for weeks, and then all of a sudden it just is going down. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And so even today, I was proud of myself because I got home and I was like, hey girls, it's nice to be home. And I was like, oh, but the dishes aren't done and the laundry's not done. I was like, and you know what though? I'm not going to get angry and I'm not going to yell. I'm just going to let y'all know I'm very sad right now. Very disappointed.
But your vein
was pulsating.
Little thing was
my face was red, and I was like, "But we're gonna get on this tomorrow, right?" Yes. So, John, thank you. I'm going to take some of my own advice. I'm going to make sure that I am a little bit more purposeful in dealing with my kids, so that we're all having a great time again, as best time as we can have, considering.
Right.
All right.
We need to plug our business before we go any further.
Go for it.
So let's do this. So today's business is called Clean and Serene, and they are a local cleaning solution here in Lubbock, Texas. No job is too big or too small. They specialize in new construction and making ready cleans, commercial and office cleaning, but they do an exceptional job on your regular residential cleans as well. With over 20 years experience, countless reference, and unbeatable pricing, we are your go-to for any clean. And yes, we will come sanitize your space and keep your space corona-free.
Nice.
Corona-free.
Yeah, give them a call for a free estimate, and we'll get you on the road to Clean and Serene. We'll post their information on the comments, so you'll be able to go back and get that. And so I need them in my life because I hate cleaning.
Okay, so I don't hate cleaning. I hate my closet. So I've told myself, before I go back to the office, which I'm going back in May, I'm going to clean my closet, and I'm already stressed out about it. I'm like, I don't want to.
I feel you. I know how that feels, Sandy. We had the cleaning crew come in recently, but as stressful as it was getting stuff out of the house afterwards, golly.
But it feels so good. I mean, it does. It feels so good when you clean your house. I mean, and you lay down and clean on clean sheets. I mean, it's so great to be. But when I go into my closet, it's an absolute chaos in there. And it's all my fault. I'm like, this doesn't fit. So I don't hang it back up. I have problems. Help, help me, I'm poor.
So here's my problem with, like, I've been wanting to hire a cleaning crew, but my wife has been like, if we hire a cleaning crew, then we have to clean the house first. And
yes. It's crazy. You have to clean your house.
That sounds like the person who goes to the dentist is like, and they go to a pre-dentist to get the dental clean. So when they go to the real dentist, the dentist is like, "Oh, you've been doing good."
No, it's the thing. You have to clean your house before the cleaning crew comes in.
It's like washing the dishes before I put them in the dishwasher.
Producer, come on. You got to realize this.
No,
okay?
she's right. No. It's an unwritten rule. You have to clean your house.
That is a ridiculous unwritten rule.
It is. So my girlfriend has always had a cleaning person. Mm-hmm. And so she'd be like cleaning her house, like picking stuff up. And I'm like, okay, so you have a cleaning person coming over. Why are you cleaning your house? She's like, you just have to. And I'm like, what? No, I'm not paying somebody if I'm cleaning my own house. I refuse.
Then I want a discount because I did half the job for them.
You should be employed by them then, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I helped.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's an unwritten rule. She's right. She's right.
Make sure you contact Clean and Serene if you need a cleaning solution. And again, we'll post their information in the comments. But let's get on to the big part of the show.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, so guys, listen, let me just let you know first. I've been trolling subreddits for years at lightsabers because I just think they're the most coolest gizmo that people started making. So if you don't know, people make these at home, and these are like legit good looking sabers, like from the movie Star Wars. They people make these things and they're great. And I've always seen some that I'm always like, oh, that one looks good, that one looks cute, that one looks beautiful, that one looks awesome. I don't know what all these things. I'm like, okay. But recently I saw some and they blew my mind away. And I said, I need to get that guy on the show. I need to find out who he is and get him on the show. It's been about 2 or 3 weeks of working with our buddy Carl and talking with things and figuring out how to get him on and dealing with technical glitches and everything else. But we finally got him, and he's here tonight. Okay, just to give you some backdrop here too. This is our first international guest, which is really cool.
Carl from across the pond.
He has an awesome accent, y'all. Those of us that love accents.
Legit. Carl is from the UK, and he is making lightsabers there. I'm going to let him talk more about it, but his lightsabers blew my mind away. I looked at these bad boys, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure this is the lightsaber I need to buy. This is the one I've been waiting for years. And so I'm happy to have him on the show to come on. And without any more, let's just bring him on. Joe, bring him on, please.
Oh, yeah, because it's like 3:30 in the morning for him over there.
Oh, that's right. Carl.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, Carl.
Hey, man. Welcome to the show.
Thanks very much. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
No, it's not over yet, dude.
Just like we tell every guest, we build you up, and if you fall on your face, that's your fault.
That's going to happen. It's nearly 4 a.m. So.
Wow, so you are up late right now.
Yeah.
Have you even gone to bed yet?
No. I figured I'd use the time to work on sabers. So.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds cool, you know? Sorry, I'm getting
I've never used that word in a sentence like that.
Right? It's kind of like 2.5 years ago, I got to use for the first time ever, I got to say, you probably want to go talk to our engineering and see what they say about that. And afterwards, I was like, whoa, I got an engineering team at my job. How cool is that? So,
who am I?
Yeah. But so Carl, you have a company, and that's why it says on his name, guys, it says Vaults of Valhalla. Is that right?
That's right. That's absolutely. Although it is only like 3 weeks old. I've not been official for very long. It kind of exploded after that first saber. So,
and so, guys, the picture behind me is Carl's image on his website, on his Facebook page, and those are actually your sabers, right, Carl?
Yeah, absolutely. I have them ready to show you in a little while. They're just
okay.
Lined up along here.
Okay. Well, before we get there, though, just for all of us that, who are watching you, can you just give us an idea of who you are first, and then maybe tell us how you got into this?
Yeah, of course. So I'm 33 years old. I've been a British citizen my entire life. I've been into Star Wars from a very early age, but I bought a lightsaber this is going on 15 years ago now. And back in those days, they weren't any great shakes. They turned on, they did a bit of clash, but they were nothing special. They were nice hilts, but they were just the official replicas. And saber technology back then just wasn't where it is now. And then recently, just after Christmas I realized that the new Disney parks, the Galaxy's Edge park, they've started releasing their own sabers as well. And I thought, they've got to be better than the one I've got sat downstairs that I've had for God knows how long. And I saw they did my favorite hilt, which is the Obi-Wan hilt from the Phantom Menace. So I paid over the odds because they cost a fortune if you can't go to Galaxy's Edge, and I got it delivered here, and that was it. I was back into sabers from there. So it's been downhill ever since. That was about the end of January now.
This January, so just a few months back. Huh?
Literally, yeah. So
real quick, because guys, Carl provided me a whole bunch of pictures of his work. So I'm about to play something that's just going to run in the background because there's so many pictures. I want to be able that they go through enough. And while Carl's talking, if I need to stop on one that he wants to elaborate on during the show, then I'll stop on that. And we'll kind of go back and forth, bringing the show on and off, the slideshow on and off. But Carl, bear with me 1 second while I get this.
No,
so where did you get the name Vaults of Valhalla?
Well, my surname is Norse in origin, and I've always had an absolute fascination with Norse mythology and things. That's why my first 2 sabers were Norse themed. But Vaults of Valhalla, I just thought sounded like a really cool armory kind of deal.
And it really does. I'm like intrigued just by the name.
Right.
That is cool. So these are actual pictures of you taking. These are like the products you're making at home.
That's in my kitchen. Yeah, that was the Diablo themed saber, based around Tyrael. I don't know whether you guys do you game. Do you play Diablo?
I don't play Diablo, but we do game. But
my daughter does. She plays a lot of Diablo.
Yeah, I mean, most of the Blizzard games are great anyway, but that one I've always had a particular like of Tyrael, who's one of the main characters in there, and he seemed like a perfect theme for that etch. So
Was that one of the first pictures we
the
saw?
gold
I'm
one,
going to back up.
Yeah.
I'm going to back up a little bit here.
So that one, that's the Diablo hero. That angel is a representation of Tyrael. And that's his
snap! I thought, okay, I can see the sword, and I thought it was a sword, but now I see the angel. Yes.
That is so. Do you etch that part of it, or?
Well, I graphic design it first. I basically stylize it on a computer, and then I'll print off onto a special paper, which then gets attached to the shrouds very tightly and stuck in an oven, and then they'll transfer the toner to it, and then it acts as a resist for the acid when you dunk it in.
Oh, I see. So you're like dipping it in. It's like, okay, that's the etching part.
I don't think he sees that.
Yeah, the etching part is. I mean, that particular brass is ferric chloride, which is it's a nasty, horrible material. Don't get it on your clothes; it'll stain it forever. You'll never get it out. Brass is always ferric because it's a harder metal than aluminium, so it has to go in stronger stuff. I can use really, really easy stuff with aluminium, but with brass.
Carl, let me just tell you real quick. I was watching a baking show recently with Rachel Coos, and I heard her say aluminium, and I was kind of like, "What is she talking about?" And then she took it. Then she put the drawer, or she took it out of the drawer. I was like, "Aluminum." And I had to rewind it a few times. Like, what was that?
No, it's much cooler when he says it.
I agree. I completely agree. But had I not seen her and did that whole thing a couple nights ago, when you just said it, I'd have been like, "Huh?" Right. So anyway,
I've got more aluminium for you in a bit.
All right. I'm gonna let the slideshow go on. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So tell us, or Joe, were you about to ask a question?
No, yeah, I was about to ask him. Just
go for it.
What was your first? Was the first one that you did, or that you?
No, that wasn't the first. The first I did was the Cthulhu themed saber from H.P. Lovecraft's Tales. I don't know. Joe, you might find it would be a silver one with the red wrap.
Silver one with the red wrap. Oh, yes. Hold on. I actually remember.
Oh, I saw it was the red leather, I think, right?
Leather
no,
or the
red wire.
Like it looks like copper almost, right?
That's it. That's the one.
Oh.
That was the one just then.
Hold on.
Go back.
That one. So that was my Cthulhu saber. Now that wasn't technically my first saber because I made others just for myself beforehand. Mm-hmm. But this was the first one I made with a specific intent of selling it on after I was done. And it sold in 3 minutes of me posting it. So
that was Carl, that's gnarly. You know what? Yeah. I was talking with some coworkers today, and that's so crazy that you make that, because I told him, I was like, man, he makes some wicked etchings that he can do on there. I was like, I wonder what sort of what are some themes that he could put onto them. And one of the ones that I mentioned, I was like, oh, what if he had an H.P. Lovecraft one, like Cthulhu related?
Done that.
I hadn't even paid attention when I put the pictures together.
I could. As long as it's something I enjoy, if I'm passionate about it, so pretty much anything geeky you can imagine, I will put my all into it, and it'll look like my Cthulhu and my Diablo. I've got a couple of others on the go at the moment that I'll show you in a bit, and I think they're going to be even better than the last one. So,
all right, so I'm gonna let this.
How much do they weigh?
The aluminium ones are really light. They're maybe 150 grams, 200 grams at the most. Brass ones probably a kilo. They're really heavy. Like,
nice.
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't even know what that means yet.
I'm gonna Google it. I wasn't even gonna.
Okay, Sandy.
A kilo is not quite a pound.
Right.
Yeah. So.
I keep forgetting you guys are imperial. Yeah.
You forget we're backwards.
Right.
And it's the only country that's like that, right?
And where did it start, though? Where did it start?
Well, yeah.
That's right. The inch was the size of the king's thumb.
At least we knew we were wrong.
Oh, man, that's so funny.
Okay.
And so give us the process, basically, of how you actually create. You get the idea, and you're like, all right, I want to do H.P. Lovecraft one, and then where does it go from there?
So the go from there is to gather material. I will trawl through Google image search and that to find relative parts for, this was Cthulhu based, so I was looking for anything Kraken style, quotes from H.P. Lovecraft's work that would fit properly where I'm putting them. And then once that's done, once I've got a nice big folder full of stuff, I'll pop into Corel Draw and I'll start vector tracing things, mixing them together, pushing them onto the shroud borders I already have on there, and then just make it fit and until I come up with a design I like, and then I'll print it off. Simple as that.
Wait a minute, you use Corel Draw?
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy. I was expecting like some other a higher engineering software or something like that.
Oh no, because obviously maybe like AutoCAD or things like that. That would be
Right.
milling the sabers itself, but this is purely just graphic design, so I don't need anything more.
Okay, all right.
Real
Yeah,
quick,
because I use a lot of Photoshop, so I was just
Yeah, I mean Corel Draw is essentially the same thing, really. It's just
okay.
Adobe's got a better name for itself,
Right.
and it's more expensive. So
And it's more expensive, yes.
So I just want to highlight a couple of comments real quick. Kate say, yeah, lightsaber tech from 20 years ago sucked. They can't even cut through butter.
they still can't, to be perfectly honest. So.
Then this one, Kate again, actually. Kilo is heavy for a replica.
It is, yeah. It's not a dueling saber at all. You tie your hand out.
That is crazy. So yours, these are not meant
That's one
for
of my
display.
customers.
Oh, really?
He's doing that on purpose.
Well,
Oh,
that's
look at that! Look at his picture. Is that your lightsaber that, or his?
No, he hasn't got his yet. It's downstairs, ready for
No,
it.
that's from the Mandalorian. That's the mask.
Oh well, no, the lightsaber on the
It is.
side. I wasn't sure if that was one that Carl built.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, I believe that's a Star Killer. That one, that hilt replica.
Wait, that's a Star Killer?
That's a Star Killer hilt. Yes.
Holy jeez, I forgot about that one. I missed the. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's all right.
I'm gonna calm down. Rein it in. Rein it in. Focus
So
on the.
I think you should show us a couple.
Yeah. I mean, I'll start off with the one that got me into it.
I'm gonna make you big on the screen, Carl. Okay, so
Go for it.
okay.
So this is the Obi-Wan Phantom Menace hilt from
Nice.
Disneyland. So it's just a
Whoa.
standard replica. It's nothing special, to be fair. It's a nice metal hilt, but there's a bit of plastic along here, and that it's what you'd expect from a higher quality toy, basically.
Uh-huh.
But if you turn it on, I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it much.
okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it looks great on the camera because cameras always emphasize the brightness, but unfortunately with these, they use old string LEDs. So if you're looking at it in person, you can see little black lines all the way up where there's no light coming through. So they're not that impressive in person, actually.
Yeah.
But they do, they do the biz. They'll do the, if you can hit it hard enough, they'll do a little flash on clash, but nothing special. So that's what got me into it. And then my next saber, or rather sabers, I've got one that's just on its own there. That was my light side hilt, essentially.
Right.
This was my first ever etch.
Really?
Now it's not very deep, because you'll notice this the first time I'd ever gone near any kind of acid with metal or anything. I didn't leave it in long enough, and when I took it out, the resists all fell off, so I could not put it back in again.
Okay.
But it still came out nice, and then I weathered it up, and it still looks pretty decent. So I was quite happy with that. It was also my first time ever sewing leather. As you see at the bottom, there's a very slight gap down there where it's kind of loosened, and it's not very tight there.
That's just from battle.
It
There you go. There you
But then I moved on to this one, which was the aluminium version, which is my dark side version. So they're a twin set. I kind of named them Dagaroke Nacht, which is ancient Norse for day and night.
Hush your mouth.
I got better with the leather stitching on that one. It's
Look
a
at
lot
that.
tighter. It's a lot nicer. And this one's been, I mean, I've installed both of them, but I might have heard that. It's the sound font.
Oh, cool.
So this one's an in-hilt LED. So there's no,
Oh,
you
wow.
already see it's
Whoa.
brighter.
Yeah, you can
That
see
is
it's way
so
brighter.
bright.
Yeah.
But this is just an LED in here. That's it. It shines up through the blade.
Oh
So
wow.
Look at that.
it's
It's got that,
illuminating the whole thing.
Yeah, it's got that like Kylo Ren's fire blade thing just a second ago. It looked like. Oh,
I can change the colors if I want to.
Oh, you're fancy.
I like the RGB LEDs because you can choose any color you want. You just program in the RGB code and that's it. It's done. Easy as. But you can have
RGB for those of us who are not.
So the red 255, green 255, B255. So the different brightness colors.
Red,
so you can make any color you like.
Yeah, red, green, blue is what the RGB stands for.
That's the one.
Change the numbers on those each value and get a different color.
I knew that.
So after those two were done, I managed to get my hands on a sold out hilt at the time, which is the
oh my gosh,
Fallen Order.
Oh, that's sweet,
dude. Is Jet watching this, Joe?
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
It is very much one of my favorite hilts.
Oh, that looks so beautiful.
I had the shrouds designed by me, but I had to send them off to a laser company to be done because the hilt is anodized, so it couldn't be etched.
Okay,
but they didn't do too badly. There's a couple of tiny overlaps and that, but it's laser technology on a curved surface. I couldn't really moan at that. It was still pretty good, so I was quite happy with that.
That is so gnarly, man.
You have a good eye.
This is also the loudest saber I own. It is ear-piercingly loud.
The dark side.
Nice.
Wait for it.
Wow.
That is my favorite color. I really like a hot pink on the sabers. I think they look amazing. It just comes out really nice in no matter what.
And I love
the
crackling and
there you go, crackling.
Yeah, I have it set on a flicker pulse, so it looks like it's an unstable blade.
Yeah,
it's quite nice.
Okay, so Carl, like the banging that you're doing, like how hard can you actually bang the plastic or whatever that is on the top?
It's a polycarbonate blade and it's dueling rated. I've used these in dueling and I've hit things very hard with them and nothing's ever happened to it.
Really?
You can break them.
Hold on.
I have seen them snap.
You said dueling.
Sustained abuse. It's a lot.
Like,
they
used
have
that
actual
one in
tournaments.
dueling?
I've used this one and I've used my aluminium one.
Yeah, they're for dueling. They're not for putting on the wall.
Wait, you've got people where you can actually go and y'all like hit each other with these things?
Yeah, the Sabre Academy.
Joe, Sandy.
They have Sabre Academies.
A Sabre Academy?
They
you guys hear that? Are you guys hearing that? There's a Sabre Academy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
What is that? Yeah, so to be honest, I didn't know about it until I think it was midway through February. But I found them on Facebook. They were a member of one of the UK lightsaber groups. And they did training in my city and a little city up the line as well. So I messaged them. I said, can anyone come along? They went, yeah. And I went along and I took a friend of mine with me and been doing it since. Well, until they stopped doing it for social isolation, obviously. But
right.
Yeah, no, it was very good.
That is so. And so they show you how to flip the.
Yeah, so when you first go, they'll start with Form 1, which is the basic lightsaber form. They'll teach you all the basic moves like footwork, stances, positions, blocks, guards, so on and so forth. It's very good fun.
Oh, so that's basically like from Star Wars 1, the sword fighting.
They have forms of fighting, dude. They have like
they have seven forms.
Okay.
It is. But each one's a different kind of mastery. So one might be acrobatic, another one will be a two-handed, heavy thing, so on and so forth.
My favorite is Mace's. His was
Vapad.
The 7th one, right?
Vapad, yeah. It requires a mix of dark and light side in order to use it.
And he's the only one who was ever able to master it, right?
It's why he was granted the rank of master, actually.
Everybody knows
I have this one. This is very special.
Make it big.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, snap. Look at that.
This one.
It's from episode 4, but I did put the episode 3 control card in it because I think it looks better than the bubble strip personally. But this is what's called a Neopixel Sabre. This is why saber technology's come such a long way since I last looked at it so long ago. These things are insane. So the blade is just full of Neopixel LEDs. And when I turn this on, you'll see why it's better immediately.
Nice.
It ignites like a saber. It's incredible.
That went on my wish list.
Yes, Kisa, if you're watching, that's the. Oh snap! Oh, and it's purple. Look at that.
I can change it to any color I want again. But it's insane. Like there's 144 little LEDs like set back to back in this blade, and they all light up in sequence, which I think looks so much better.
Have you taken that one out to the academy or to the?
No, because it's a thin neck. The blade only comes down to here. It's not rated for dueling. If I use that, I'll probably break it.
Okay, so
but that is very much a display piece.
I need one for dueling, and I want that.
Yes, I need one. I need one in Lubbock when I go visit, and then I need one here that's just show off to people.
Right, yep. I'll actually need two for my son and me.
Join the waiting list.
Man.
So how long does it take for you to from whenever you think about it to actually complete the a saber?
Generally my turnaround has been within a month at the moment, but that's when I've been working on just my own stuff. I managed to complete both the gold and the silver one within a month and a half. And bearing in mind they were the first time I'd ever touched any of this process, so I still thought that was pretty good. At the moment, I have 2 commissions plus a personal project I'm working on, and I think it's been 2 weeks. They're nearly ready to go in the acid, all 3 of them. So after that, all I've got to do is weather them, wrap them, and they're done, essentially.
Wow.
How much time is it taking? How much time are you putting towards those a day?
Well, put it this way. Yesterday I did 12 hours.
Oh my gosh.
To be honest, the hardest part isn't the rest of it working on the sabers. The longest time is design. It's design work. It's coming up with something that I love the look of that I'm going to put on the metal, because once it's done, it's permanent. It's got to be perfect. And if it's not good enough, I'll just scrap it and start again.
So do you plan on mass producing them then, and maybe getting
I mean, apart from the fact that the process is fairly arduous and time consuming, I'm kind of basing the whole thing on my designs are completely bespoke. You know, I go over and above what's expected usually. A lot of etchers and that around, you tend to find they'll just find a floral pattern online, stick a symbol in there somewhere, make it wrap around, and they're done kind of thing. And I like my sabers to mean something. That's why all the sabers have like script work on the backgrounds of the shrouds and stuff.
Hold on, let me build that up real quick.
So that's Norse runes on there.
I was wondering about that when I saw those. I was like, at first when I saw it on the blueprint or I guess blueprints, I was like, is that actual words or something else? And then it was impressive.
I have my current personal project to show you. Now I'm putting a glove on. Don't be surprised. It's because I don't like touching the metal with my hands until it's finished, until it's been etched. Because if you leave finger oils on it, it can affect the depth and stuff. So,
really?
So this is one of the ones I've got going on currently. This is my Lord of the Rings themed hilt.
Shut up! That's the other one I told them today. I was like, God dog it.
So we've got the even star on the emitter there with a couple of bits around it. The quote, I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to see it, but it's the end of the Riddle of Strider. So it says, "From the ashes a fire shall be woken, a light from the shadows shall spring."
Wow.
That'll be etched into the metal. And then the shrouds, which I have here, I made the crown design for this specifically. You'll recognize the other one, but Crown of Gondor.
Oh, look at that.
With the elvish Riddle of Strider behind it. And the other one is the Tree of Gondor with some better stars than usual.
That looks gorgeous, man.
And these are your personal designs that you...
Yeah, these are ones well, the Tree of Gondor, obviously that's a normal design, but that's my own. I made that. So.
Wow.
And that's not etched yet, or it is?
No. Okay. You'll notice it's blue. And the blue is the plastic backing of the paper that transfers the toner to the metal.
Oh, okay.
How long do they have to sit in the acid?
It depends. If it's brass and you want a really good depth etch, mine were 2 hours. I can speed it up if I agitate it and make it warmer, but I don't, and there's a very special reason for that. But I don't have any brass ones to show you why. In fact, if you look at the shrouds very closely, go back one there, Jay.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm Jamie, but that's okay.
Sorry, Jamie. Sorry, I do apologize.
All right, that's okay.
It's 3:30 in the morning for you.
I know what you meant.
You'll see on the sword one. Can you see in between the etched lines of the blade? There's little horizontal lines.
Right here, right? Little
Yeah.
tiny.
So that's where particulate gathers when it's being eaten away, and it stops the metal underneath from being eaten as fast. So if you hang your shrouds in horizontally like this, you'll get horizontal lines. If you put it in vertically, you get vertical lines. But the reason I don't agitate is because it removes that clinging matter, and I think that looks better. I think the etch looks a lot nicer with that kind of definition.
I
So
leave it. Yeah.
I think so too.
So like even right here, right in the sword in the middle, right here, like
Exactly,
it's right there also, right?
Yeah, those little
Like the little fibers being.
If you go ahead one onto the next image, you'll see it's really hard to make out, but it's also around the eye in the middle of the saber. The lines, the vertical lines there, but they all come down around it.
Right here on the outer edge.
Well, around the actual symbol itself.
Oh, in there.
The dark areas. Is that what you're talking about?
No, if you go higher, a little bit higher.
I'm trying to figure out how to do that with the slides that I have.
Well, I don't think you'll be able to. See if there's a closer image of that one. Must be one somewhere. I took 1 million of them.
Oh, here we go.
So do you see the lines around the eye?
Yeah. Yes.
And then above it and below it, and then inside
right
the little
here.
tiny section. Yeah,
they're all over actually.
So what you're saying is just by warming it up, it could cause all of that to.
Well, because it all depends on the length of time it's in. You'll also notice that the brass has a very pinky color to it. And that's because the longer you leave it in ferric chloride, it leaches zinc ions out of the brass. And brass is an alloy of zinc and lead and pewter and nickel and God knows what else. But most of it is copper and zinc. And if you take the zinc away, it just leaves copper, which copper is a pink color. So by leaching the ions out of it, gives it that nice rose gold warmth over it as well. So when I weather it, it looks really nice. So I like to just leave it in the acid. I don't like to bother it.
Okay,
I got to put this real quick because I'm trying to pay attention to Carl. There are a ton of comments, man. Okay, you will have to go back and watch the show yourself and read every comment and comment to everyone because you're getting.
Oh yeah, my God, I haven't even looked at it.
And don't because
don't worry about it.
Overwhelming. It's overwhelming. But I do want to highlight this one. Oh, it jumped up. Hold on. Here we go.
Imagine elves with lightsabers.
When he said that, I was like, "Yeah, I did earlier." That's why I was thinking, Lord of the Rings lightsaber. What do we? I wonder if you're going to say what was the other one? I'm not going to say it out loud, but we said Lord of the Rings, and then we said Cthulhu. Oh, there was one sort of two more. I'm going to just wait and see if any have come out there. If any of the other ones I haven't noticed.
Well, so we know what Sandy's son wants. He wants this one.
Yeah.
A Half-Life one, eh? Yeah, it could be done, literally.
Oh, he's probably geeky. He's super geeking out after you said that now.
Geeking out right now.
Yeah, he had a post earlier. He was like, I'm so geeking out right now. He said something like that.
Both of my sons are on watching. They're like, Mom, buy me one.
Did you see what Kate? This is Sandy's other son. When we were talking about the Jedi or the the dual thing.
Dueling Academy.
Dueling Academy. There you go. Sandy, he's got goals.
I know. At least he has goals, right?
Yeah.
And you said, so we spoke to you. Since we were trying to do all the technical stuff. You said there are like 3 of them in your little town, and you're like in the smallest town in London or in England, right?
Smallest city in England we are. We don't even have an airport. That's how small we are.
But you have 3 academies.
That is ridiculous.
We have 3 academies in the area, in the region. We can.
Can you tell them to send them to Lubbock and Bloomington? we will help.
See, you all say it's great to have a big country with lots of open space, but there's advantages to living on an island. So.
That's true. That's true.
That is very true.
Here, Carl. Look, I think
Oh, look, if it isn't Rara.
I
My
thought you
first
might like
customer.
that.
That was
Oh,
that
are
was
you
my
serious?
first buyer. Yeah. I posted a few preview shots of that Sabre up, and she was constantly saying like, when's it ready to buy? Can I buy it yet? And I was like, do you know what? I'm not even gonna put it up for sale. I'll just say you can have it. It's yours. And yeah, she bought it. So.
Aw,
Awesome.
that was nice, man.
And then
I'm
she
sure.
put a massively glowing review up online, and then I woke up to like 40 messages and didn't stop replying all day. So.
Wow.
Okay, so that leads me to another question here, Carl. When I found out about you, when I saw you on Facebook, I went online and looked, and I saw your Reddit. I saw a Reddit post that said that you had just opened your store yesterday, and I was like, okay, wow. And then when you and I and Joe spoke,
Mhm.
I believe you told us you were sold out for a week, or maybe that was a post or something else that I saw that you were sold out for a week or maybe even a month. Where are you at now in terms of back orders, or how, can I, if I put my order in tonight, am I going to get it here in a couple of months?
Now, it's still a work in progress because I'm still completely unsure of the workload I want to take on at the moment. I'm new to commission work. I don't want to overburden myself. I
Sure,
do have a
sure.
job to go back to at some point as well, so I've got to factor that in. But at the moment, based on 2 Sabres a month kind of deal, backlisted until October. So
Oh my goodness.
It was
Yeah.
just September. It was too early.
I know.
Hey, my children that are listening, it's not can maybe for Christmas. Sorry.
I'm kind of pencil me in for December, Carl. Okay,
I'll put your name down. No
Yeah,
worries.
yeah. We're gonna talk and we'll see what. Yeah.
So tell us about your workshop. Is it in your garage or
It's
is
in my
it-
kitchen.
It's in your kitchen.
I've never needed a workshop, so I have no workbench. I have nothing. I've had to buy all the tools I've needed. I've never even owned a vice before, and it was essential for this. So I suddenly have loads of used store-it boxes under my breakfast bar full of essential tools. Like,
So I really love this picture because I thought is this your workbench? Is this your table?
it's my kitchen table. Yes, as you see, there's a fruit bowl just at the top of the image there. So
But you know what? I gotta say, for having your kitchen table as your workbench, that's a mighty fine looking table
It really
there.
is.
That's
I
legit.
mean, it's quite a large table, so it does do the job. To be honest.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't matter what type of products you use or what type of workspace you have or anything like that. All that matters is the final product. And if you can do that on a 6 foot by 6 foot coffee table, then I don't care.
Right, exactly. I feel the same way. I'm like, look what he's putting out. You have another. Okay, so here's more of the coffee table. Or the workbench. Sorry, the workbench.
The workbench, right?
I am going to invest in a workbench as soon as I get some more sales.
Didn't you tell me there was something about this photo?
Not in
this was
particular that one. No, that was
Maybe it was a different one.
installing this one actually. That was my Fallen Order install. That one.
Okay. So did you design the board or is it something that
Oh
you
no.
bought?
The boards are ready made. So I mean that one in that photo is a Verso. You can buy those from the Sabre Armories run by Cal. He's a very big runner in the Sabre community. I've used CFX as well, which is from Plector Labs. One of the more top end soundboards that cost you, in dollars, about $85 roundabouts.
So that's
there's
for the soundboard.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just for the circuit board that you attach everything to. Yeah.
So that's where all the
There's
voices and the lightsaber sounds and the clashings and everything is coming from that little thing.
Yeah, so there's a memory card in it, and you can remove the
Oh.
memory card, and you can alter the fonts and the colors that from your own computer, which is another great thing. The customization is top notch, but you can program it all, put it back in, and it will run what fonts you've put on your memory card.
So does it run on a rechargeable battery or is it like AA's, AAA's? What is it?
We don't use standard batteries for these. So my in-hilt LEDs are run on 18650 batteries, which are about 3200 milliamp hours.
Okay.
They have a 15 amp high power drain as well, but you need big batteries for these because Tri-Cree LEDs use a lot of power. If you're going to use a Neopixel, you tend to go for even bigger. You get 5,000 milliamp hours for those, because if you put a standard battery in a Neopixel, it'd be dead in half an hour. It just won't last.
Okay.
So,
You know, I have absolutely zero idea what you just said, but I am so happy that there are people like you that understand what you just said, because then it makes me and those of us who don't know all that have a really good time playing around with lightsabers.
Well, if you think of the milliamps, 5,000 milliamps, a lot of like phone chargers come in that size, and so if you think of a phone charger in that size, then they curved it and put it basically in the hilt.
Essentially, yes, yeah. Although obviously you get 24 hours out of a smartphone, you get about 2 hours out of these.
Right.
So then the dual. Oh, so then do you have like Are these swappable batteries or something like that?
Depends how they're wired. You can use removable batteries. You can use in-hilt recharge with a non-removable battery. It depends how you want to do it. I've done all mine with removable, apart from that one, which is in-hilt recharge, because it's just easier to do with this one.
I like this question. Oh, you're probably looking at the same one, Joe. I like this question.
No, this is what Cade said.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. How old is Cade?
Someone did.
He's 14.
He's 14. He's got it. They know everything anyway.
He doesn't understand clean your room, but he understood that. Amazing.
Carl, so Sandy's other child, Alex, is asking this question, and I like it. So maybe this is a goal for the future.
Okay. I'm afraid it's a switch, does it? There's no crystal changes yet.
How cool would that be, though, to be able to include a crystal to change?
You say that, but it's one place that Disney have kind of beaten the Saber community there, because you can buy colored crystals, kyber crystals, and put them in your sabers, and they will change the blade color. Yeah.
Okay, like that would be the reason I'd want to get a Disney lightsaber. Then is just for that purpose. Like,
exactly.
It's not practical, but just the idea to say, "Oh yeah, I've got kyber crystals lined up against the wall, so I can change it any color I want." That would be freaking sweet.
Yeah, those are the ones
that be a Savvy's Workshop one, though. It can't be one of the standard hilts. It's got to be one you've made yourself in their workshop, but you can change the colors with it. So.
Yeah.
Wait, you can go to Disney and build your own lightsaber there?
My bad. They have Savvy's Workshop.
Shut the front door.
So you book in and you go in with a group, and you basically pick all these different parts and emitter sections and stuff, and you can just build your own there and then, and you walk out with it. So
it's nowhere near as cool as yours, though.
No.
I'll be back. I'm going to Disney World. Going right now.
Yeah, not long of a wait though.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's right. God dog it. Golly. It's like going to Wally World, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like we're going no matter what.
Nothing's gonna stop us, and we get there, and they're not even open. Anyway, I digress. So what are some other ideas that you're playing around in your head, if you don't mind, like for your personal projects, or some that you're hoping people would actually order from you? Have you have some that are personal pet, like, oh, I'd really love to do that one, actually, like the Half-Life one?
I already know the next one I'll probably be working on. It will be a Warhammer themed one. I have a big love of 40k. I always have. I don't play the game. I'm more into the books. I have bookshelves full of books from them. But I love the lore. I love the universe it's based in. The imagery and symbolisms are very, very good for going onto a saber. So I'll probably end up doing that next.
I was kind of hoping you'd say, I might be doing a Time Lord one or something like that.
I do love Doctor Who. There will probably be a Time Lord one. In fact, actually, I forgot to say, these sabers, they have some Aurebesh written on the shroud. Just here, this is the Star Wars language.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at that. Yeah? Oh,
so,
there you go, right there. Yep.
The quotes on them, the silver one, is "Where I stand is where I fall," which is a Doctor Who quote, funnily enough.
The front door. Look at that.
So, yeah. But the Doctor Who stuff, I'm a big fan of Doctor Who, so there definitely will be a themed saber at some point. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking just like how all the Gallifreyan, scripting and technology.
I've already looked at designs for them. Funnily enough, yeah.
You know what would look awesome would be like a Superman one with the Krypton. What's it? The Krypton language.
Kryptonese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of it is, but yes,
Yeah,
I get it.
Kryptonese.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, that would be sweet. Like the Matrix, because they use all those glyphs like that.
Oh, that's a good one,
then-
Joe.
Oh, binary, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
and,
good one.
oh yeah, binary. Yeah, that's it. And then so I kind of like Star Trek too. So the Borg, I could see like the green Borg glow. That would be
Oh.
sweet.
Kind of a circuitry theme going on.
Right? Yeah. That, I'm just throwing out ideas.
All
but-
right, so
No,
look,
that's cool.
look at this, Carl. We're venturing out a little bit, but I like these right here. I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, how difficult would it be to make a modular saber where things kind of glide across, switch up, and then undo? And I'm thinking of that Hellraiser box. The box that would, when they
I know
turn
the,
it,
the puzzle cube.
the puzzle box. Yeah.
Yeah.
How would it be to make a puzzle saber type thing? Not necessarily Hellraiser, but something that would twist and unclick, and you know what I mean?
Sounds complicated.
I mean,
It does
Well,
sound complicated. But
you say that the Saber community is working on stuff like that. So we have rotating crystal chambers now. It's not something I've personally done because it's incredibly difficult, but you have a rotating cuff on a saber, you open it up, and inside there's a crystal chamber all lit up with LEDs and stuff. You can see it all. It looks fantastic. I know for a fact that someone is working on Rey's lightsaber at the end of episode 9, where she has the
yellow one?
twist activate. So no one's ever done that before. A twist activator on a saber is unheard of. So that's going to be a new thing as well. But I think eventually, yeah, we'll get there.
Man,
oh man,
we're
yeah.
just geeking out here. I'm like, I don't know what else to say because I just
I
want one. I want to fight with them.
I do too.
I don't want one to sit on my wall. I want to fight with them because they look like they have a good weight to them and
Right?
fit well in the hands, and being able to like swing. Like the ones that we had, I'd have to tell myself, okay, we'd swing so hard at each other, one of them would turn off. And it's like, I think we may have done something.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that can still happen. You could knock a wire loose, for example, but thankfully it's quite rare.
Good.
So can you modify the width or the diameter of the hilts? Does that make sense? So it can, instead of having a thinner one, I can have it where the grip is a little bit wider, maybe? Does that make sense at all?
I mean, generally the actual base hilts are milled to a specific dimension. You can't kind of request a custom one, but if you needed a thicker grip, you would just wrap it with a thick leather, for example.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've had to learn electronics,
And
leatherwork, etching,
Yep.
all
Sorry.
on your kitchen table.
Weathering as well.
Weathering.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
all
s-
lots of different things I've never used before. So
So is
this is
everything on
really
the outside leather?
I only use genuine leather, or I'll use wire for the wire wrap, it metallic or whatever.
Yeah,
But
there's one of the pictures where it shows that he's wrapping wire.
Yeah, I saw that one. That's what made me think.
Do you know what? I prefer doing the leather because
Really?
the wire wrap is really tough on your hands.
I can
as well.
imagine,
I was
man.
gonna say it's kind of brutal on your hands, huh?
Yeah, really. It gave me blisters by the end of
I was
doing
about
that
to say
one.
you probably got blisters all over your fingertips. What about I like some of the customizations in Jedi Fallen Order that were pretty gnarly in there. Like some of the ones that I liked were the ones that were earth toned or earth based. So they look like the wood.
Yeah.
So is that
I mean,
possible?
it is. There's a lot of saber builders who buy like what do they call them? Wood vinyls. So they'll wood vinyl up a grip, for example, to make it look like real wood. It essentially is real wood. It's just flexible.
Oh, that's the one I was looking for earlier.
There is a saber called the Orgus Din, I think it is, but it has a lot of wood involved in it, and I know that there is a big saber maker considering doing a run if he gets enough interest of it. So if he does that and it's made of real wood, I'm definitely getting one of those because it's fantastic.
So when I saw yours, Carl, I got to be honest. So like I said, I've been trolling the subreddits for years, and I've just been waiting for that one that really grabs my attention. And I got to be honest, when I saw yours, I nearly flipped out. I remember I was just like, what the heck? I and I was like zooming in and looking at each one and zooming in. I was just like, this is beautiful. This is like gorgeous. These are the first thing that really popped my mind. I was like, this is like a Royals lightsaber. This is like a nobleman and noble person's lightsaber. That's all I could keep thinking from the pictures that I originally saw of when you first started posting the day after you started your Facebook page, I guess.
Yeah.
So was that intentional? Like
No.
when I felt that, was that on purpose? Did you mean to make something that looked like that?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I strive to make beautiful things. I enjoy doing it, but I never started this with the intention of even selling a single hilt. I did my first two, and I learned to do it because I wanted to make something that was properly mine. That I could say, I made this myself. I've done the etching. This means this means that. It had a kind of sentimentality. But after I'd finished, I thought, well, I really want to work on more, but I don't need more sabers myself, like not this particular model anyway. So I thought, I'll get one, etch it up, do a theme on it, and sell it on afterwards. And that way it can pay for another one and do it again. And as soon as I sold the first one, that was it. I had a business because it was that popular. I mean, what you just said, Jamie, that's been the response from so many people, and I'm floored by it. I still am floored by it. I couldn't believe how well received it was.
Yeah, and he's on our show first. He's on our show first.
Rock! That's so awesome, man.
Jamie, pop back one photo for me, would you?
Oh, yep. Hold on.
Back again. So, and again, this is an interesting photo. So this hobby isn't all fun and games. The learning curve is quite steep, and that is an $85 CFX that is toasted.
Oh, no. The top chip, right? You're talking about that top chip near the top of the thing,
right here.
You can see the white where it's burnt, shocked, and that. But you'll also see on the orange wire to the right, there's a bit of black along it.
Yes.
I wired the negatives on the recharge port the wrong way round. So
Carl,
it just blew the whole chip, and I was like, "Oh, good, there's $85 wasted."
was it immediate, like when you charged it, or whenever you turned it on?
As soon as I turned it on, and it turned on, I thought, fantastic. And then the light came on, I thought, even better. And then it shut off. And the next thing I knew, the speaker crackled. And then when I turned it over, the wire was glowing red. And I was like, oh no. So I pulled the battery out, but it was knackered. So yeah,
you're like,
that is a reminder of what not to do.
Absolutely. I've never wired another one wrong.
Yeah. Kids, we tell you, experience is the best teacher.
Right. Well, so
absolutely,
we're getting near our time, Carl.
Oh, come on!
Fun.
We should have done an extended episode for Carl.
Yeah, so the ultimate question right now, and this is from my son,
and me too.
He actually came into the room and said, "You need to ask this."
Cost of the sabers, yes. It depends what one's doing. So I tend to
be a roundabout. It doesn't have to be exact. So a roundabout figure would be great.
Yeah.
And I know that we're
like under 100 though. That'd be great.
We're going to be converting pounds to dollars.
And we're shipping, Joe. So we got shipping too.
Well, he said shipping. We talked about this already, but the shipping is not as expensive as we thought it was.
We talked.
No.
He didn't tell our viewers.
The US. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So because my designs are completely bespoke, they take the longest amount of time out of the entire process. I charge $75 for the designs. This is in pounds. So $75 for the design. I'll do £100 for the etch, or $125 if it's the full body, so the grip included. If you want weathering, that's an additional $25. If you want leather wrap, that's $50. Additional adornments, depending on what you want, that's variable, but usually around £250. So, but you've got to supply the hilt in that instance.
Okay, so you're talking about like the base. I can't remember what they're called. You had a picture of them, I think, even the 86 Sabre company, right? 86, is that what?
I mean, it could be any. I mostly work on these are KR flagships from the Sabre Armory. So you can buy these online. I think these are about $100. A lot of my customers from the US have just sent them straight to me because he's based in the UK, so it saves them a fortune in shipping. And then I'll just ship them to them when they're done. But you send me the hilt, I count that as a deposit, and I'll start working on the designs.
Oh, okay.
We actually have to buy the lightsaber, then send it to you for the design.
I do the customization. Yeah.
You do the customization part of it.
One day, maybe I'll get a mill and a lathe and stuff. And
yeah, because that's what
now.
I'm to. It's like, are you lathing stuff in your kitchen?
Don't, because I would. So,
what was I gonna say? Shoot.
You better hurry because we're at the end here.
Okay, so how do we put in our orders? Like, I know it's October-ish, but
so if you're interested, my page on Facebook, Vaults of Valhalla, you'll notice it because it's the giant photo that Jamie has behind him there. But just message me through that, and I'll add your name to the wait list. Simple as.
Okay.
Man.
And so Cade will probably come up with a design for you. That's what it sounds like.
So
Kate said plus $999 for the shipping. It's not that much, Kate. Actually, we were talking about this earlier.
$35 roundabouts.
Yeah, American dollars, about $35 to get it from there to here.
Yeah.
So Kate's working on some chores.
Yes, absolutely.
Carl, I hate that we have to let you go, man. I hate it, but I know it's early for you. Whatever.
I'm not even sure whether I'm going to go to bed at this stage. I might just stay up. So
take a nap. I'm telling you, naps are awesome. # nap together.
So we got 2 last questions for you. But before we get that, man, I just really want to give you props. I appreciate you. We appreciate you so much for coming on tonight and taking time. I mean, it cannot have been easy. Staying up 3:30 in the morning and coming here and doing this with us, but man, you are our first international guest, and thank you so much. We really appreciate you, man.
We appreciate
Thank you for having me on.
And I hope this blows up to the level that you want it to blow up to. Okay,
not too fast. Like
you slow down.
Yeah. And so with that, 2 final questions. The first one is, you get some time here actually to just plug anything you want to say, anything you want to tell anyone about anything. You get that time right now.
I've been dedicating my brand new 3D printer that I've had for a week to printing ear savers for our medical personnel. I would particularly like to plug them for being on the front lines, risking their lives in the current situation. I think they're all bloody heroes and they all deserve a thank you.
Thank you, Carl. That's
fantastic.
Awesome. That is awesome.
And then our last question is, we like to ask our guests who come on to give us a topic to bring up in a future episode. And so with that, do you have an idea of what you'd want us to talk about for the future?
Yeah. In light of the global situation, I think maybe a topic on people who are helping from home, people who are doing everything they can to help from their home, to help the medical services or the emergency services, whichever ones, but people who are don't just want to clap on their doorstep like we do every Thursday for our NHS, but actually feel like they want to give something. So
nice, very cool.
I think we can do that.
I think
real
so
quick
too.
though, what's RHNS?
NHS is our National Health Service. You know, the free medical care we get.
Stop! I knew you were gonna...
Rub it in our face, why don't you? Rub it in our face.
Awesome, man. Well, I know we could go on more and more, Carl, but man, you have a great night. Thank you again so much for coming on here and joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
He what?
About to see the sun come up, so
Yeah.
It's not long for it, to be honest. Do another half hour or so.
Well, I hope you have a dry day tomorrow.
Thank
today.
you.
Whatever way it works. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, Carl. You have a good night, man. Okay.
And you
Thanks.
guys, thanks
Good
very
night.
much.
Thank
Bye.
you, Carl.
Good night.
You had to do something, didn't you? You had to. Why are you making us sound like? Oh,
That's little hay seeds.
I'm so embarrassed by Joe sometimes.
No,
very rarely.
no.
Actually, let me take that back. I'm very rarely embarrassed by Joe. That is probably the first time I've been embarrassed by him in a long time, like
That's all right.
over 15 years.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. It's cool. That's how I roll.
Anyway, guys, I hope you.
He's fully geeked out right now.
I'm so
Fully geeked out right now.
And so are my kids. They're fully geeked out. Like
all
they
3 of us.
obviously don't get any of that from me because I have no idea.
Did Eric stay up and is he watching this with them too?
I doubt he's watching it because he's like me. We don't know anything about it. They just picked that up on their own. So
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was cool, guys. I love this show. This episode was so many firsts. We had our first international guest. We had our first YouTube comments. The first Star Wars or lightsaber episode, like that was really cool. I'm just so stoked about tonight's episode, and I think it's just because I really want a lightsaber in my collection in my hand right now. Don't you, Joe? Don't you,
Especially
Sandy?
when it hits. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Tomorrow's Freaky Friday.
Oh, yes. Do y'all have topics?
Oh, I do.
So I had thought about it, and you guys know how excited I am about Freaky Friday. And Chris had given me an idea, and I posted it to our little chat group, and then all of a sudden I get told, no, I can't do that because somebody else is doing it. Because we don't like to share our topics too much, because we want to make sure that if it's something that is interactive or whatever, we don't want to give away too much. But she just happened to pick the same one that Mr. Pineapples is doing, so I have to come up with something else.
And I had already started all day, so I was all like,
I've
no.
already been researching it.
That was a hard no.
I watched one whole YouTube video for it, and then now
And you're good to go.
it's wasted. It's all wasted now.
I
But
was listening to like 2-3 hour podcasts today, dude. I was like, what? No, Joe.
Okay,
so
split it. There's two perspectives here.
no, it's fine. He can have it. I don't even want it now. It's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. No,
There you go, Jamie. Easy win.
Yeah, I don't, and I'm gonna take it. I don't have any regret. I'm not sad about it. I ain't nothing.
and we might have a special guest tomorrow.
Oh, we might.
Oh,
we just might have a special guest.
We might have 2 special guests tomorrow.
Oh, really?
We
What?
might.
Oh,
Just so you know, you might want to tune in to find out.
okay. Well, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
And thanks everybody for commenting and asking questions.
Yeah, we love the interactive part of this show, so please continue to do so and keep us and tell your friends about us. Now that we're on YouTube, you can definitely, if they don't have Facebook, have them
Tell your
watch on
husbands.
YouTube. Yeah,
Tell your wives.
yeah.
Tell your
exactly.
babies. And with that,
Remember to wash your hands.
for at least 20 seconds.
you filthy animals.
Good night, guys.
Have a good
Good
night
night.
and a cup of tea.